7 cuerdas exactamente como las que tocan los dos guitarristas extraordinarios de KORN. Y hoy, como les prometimos, estamos con dos de los integrantes de la banda. Demos la bienvenida a Jonathan Davis y a James Munky Sheffer. Thank you for allowing us to get closer to our favorite group.
All right, thanks.
This one is for Jonathan. When you were in the beginning of your musical career, the rumor said that you find with an astrologist, an aunt of you,
Yeah.
and she gave you a kind of premonition. Do you believe in fate?
I totally 100% believer in fate. I think, everyone's born with a purpose and born with a path, and life just leads you the way you're supposed to, where you're supposed to go. Same with what I thought. When what happened with the band, when we got together, it was totally fate. Things that happened within the band, it's been fate. All for a reason, all for the big picture of,
Yes.
what's going on with the band. So I'm 100% a believer of that.
Since the early 60s, the state of California has played a very important role in the development of rock music. But the main focus has always been the major cities like Frisco and LA. How can you explain the opposite situation of KORN coming from such a small town like Bakersfield?
Go for it, Munky.
I think that growing up in Bakersfield is such a small town, and I think that each, like Jonathan said about fate, I think each one of us inside felt that there was something more out there for us. There was, Bakersfield is only about less than 2 hours from Los Angeles, and so that was the closest city to go to. That the record music is like the hub for music, and for almost all over the world, and that's all I have to say.
Well, it's like they say, it's not the years what count, it's what you do with them.
Yeah,
That's true.
that is true.
Thanks to Ivan's guitars, our program gave for free a 7-string guitar to one of our viewers. Can you explain to our audience why you and Head Welch decided to add this extra string?
It was already an existing guitar that Steve Vai had introduced the guitars in 1990, and he came out with the record called Passion and Warfare, which I was a big fan of, and I was like, big Steve Vai, oh. And he was using it to do like shredding leads and up and down the neck, so he added the string originally so that he could go lower and do these weird, I don't know, lion growls.
Special
or something.
sound.
Yeah, and I thought, it would be cool to, incorporate that into like a heavy metal, heavy riff playing.
He's using that guitar in the G3 video.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Except they had the really bad paint job, like the paint
Paint was swirled, and he had the handles, so he could, the Steve Vai handle.
Yeah.
So he could pull his
Very
guitar
low
up like that.
profile, huh? He didn't make any advertisement or promotion to this.
Well, he did. He introduced it, and then it never took off. And then they discontinued the guitar, and then a few years later,
This guy brought it back.
KORN brought it back.
Well, every generation has always been searching a frontman, a reliable spokesman, and there's no doubt that you and your mates have been elected for that role by millions of followers. Do you think that this can be a very heavy burden? Your comments, please.
It could be. I don't think it ever is a burden. This is just part of the job when you become in a band and you take this on, and that's what comes with it. I never look at it like that. I never look at it, I'm talking to millions and millions of people. It could be an influence on them or whatever. It's just my job, and it's not really my job, but I love to sing and I love, to play music, and that's all I do, and that's all I think we all think about is just going out there rocking it and having fun and playing music. And we don't take it that serious,
It's very important that when you are acting, you look so natural, You make the people feel what you feel, what you're trying to send, the message you try to send is a kind of empathy,
Yeah, exactly.
That's very important, I think.
Oh, it is. I mean, when you go out there and we're playing, and I feel that, that's definitely what I feel like. I think that's what we all feel like. It's like when we go out there on stage for that hour, that's when we get off all our aggressions, and that's what our music's all about, is aggression and all that. So when we go out and do that,
It's
we do
like
it.
acting. When
I don't
you're
think
on a
it's-
stage, somebody said that you have to have two personalities when you're an artist.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
I don't know if it's acting. I think it's just when you act, it's like you're being something you're not.
Oh, yes, sure.
You know what I mean? I think it's when we go out, we're feeling it's the way we feel.
Yeah.
We use our music, that hour and a half is when we get all our aggressions out. It's whatever's bothering us that day, or whatever we're feeling in that song. Those are our aggressions, and that's
It's like
our
a
release.
werewolf?
Exactly.
You transform
Yeah.
according to the
Jekyll and Hyde.
surround.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely.
That's really. Did you have to practice hard to domain your new guitar, the new guitar concept of the 7-string?
Excuse me?
Do you need some extra practice to domain to make a better sound with your guitar when you play with seven strings?
Originally, and a little bit. It's really hard to say. When I first bought my first 7-string guitar, I had to put it on layaway, which is like you put some money down and they hold it for you, and then each week I get paid. So I'd go into the store and I practice like an hour until they kick me out. So an hour a week for about 3 months.
But it's not only the sound of your guitars, a distinctive sound that makes KORN a very special band, but the bass player also is not using what they used to call slapping. He's using humping, a different kind of playing the bass.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's thumping, it's muting the strings and
Yeah.
getting click on it. Yeah.
And give a very special sound.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of people get the bass sound confused with the drums. So it almost sounds like our drummer's
Yes.
playing double bass, but it's the
They
bass.
do not the same tones.
Yeah,
Maybe
similar.
some of the
Similar,
drums
yeah.
are in the same key.
Yeah, similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A new artist, Mars, has been signed with Elementary Records,
Yeah.
and you're producing his material. How do you feel with this different role in making music?
I love it. It's I never thought I'd catch a producing bug, but it's fun. It's I think when you're a band, you need to go out and do creative, get different, creative outlets. And I've always been one. I mean, there's things we do in KORN that are great, but I also need something, to be able to do something different that wouldn't be appropriate for KORN. And it's really hard because I don't want to go off and do something solo and take anything away from our band. Because when you start doing that, things start breaking off and people get, it's not the right thing to do. So I had a passion to keep making music, and producing like Mars gives me that chance.
Part of the passion.
Part of the passion. I get to go and create with new people, and not take anything away from my band. I mean, KORN is everything that I want to do musically and be in rock. I can't get any better than that. And to do this, produce something, and it's just something different and new, and it gives me something to kill the time other than 24 hours partying and drinking.
Yeah.
And Monk's going through that now. I need something else to replace that, and music has done that for me. That's my new drug. It's my new booze and women and coke, whatever.
Oh, that's healthy.
Yeah, it's healthier for me. I'm alive.
Yeah, sure.
But that's what's replaced it, and I'm really excited about doing it. I love music. I love doing it.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
The Mars, it's unbelievable. It's really good.
Yeah.
And it's nice to hear Jonathan having that creative, hearing him do something else, which is
Just to read about it.
it's really good.
Very special.
It's really
Yes.
good. Very excited. It's something new. It's
There's
really
another point very interesting in what you have done with your music, and is the continuous search that began with the beginning of rock and roll, and was to get a balance, a perfect balance among the white music and the black music. I think you have a lot of tryings with a big success, like when Ice Cube accompanied you on the summer tour, Family Values.
Yeah, the first
What can you tell us about that? Because we are about to pass some part of the Family Values tour in our program. I think Children of the KORN was the song he
Yeah.
sang with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
that whole, when that came together, it was really incredible. It was fun. We wanted to go after somebody, you know, that, you know, when we did something with a hip-hop artist, we wanted it to be a legit hip-hop artist that, you know, you can't get any more legit than Ice Cube. He's been around, he started with NWA, and I mean, stuff that I grew up listening to, we all listened to. So when we did it, I mean, it was awesome. I was nervous when we did it. We were all freaking out. We're playing with Ice Cube. And actually before that, Munky and Head, you did Fuck Dying, right, with him?
Yeah.
You guys they did guitars and stuff. They went to the studio with him, and they did a track on his album. And then he came back and did a track on our album. And then when we did the Family Values tour, we wanted to have hip-hop artists on there. So we asked him, and he came out. It was
in transmitting an interactive radio program through the internet.
Yeah.
Now you are the first rock band with an album recorded with the ultimate digital system, Euphonics 96K. Can you define the advantages of this improvement in recording?
I don't know. Working with this system that we did, it brought a lot of flavor and life to the table that was never been heard before. I mean, you're using a machine that has never been heard before. And I mean, it sounds great on other things, but for us, we actually got some clarity and insane punch, because when we play, we're so low, it's hard to register without being muddy, you know what I mean? It's hard to get clarity and hear each note because of how low we're tuned down. It can sound like a big wall of mud. You can't hear anything, and when we were doing this, we finally found a medium that can capture the band and what it truly sounds like. And that's what's so exciting about it. Using technology is great. If it's there, let's use it. And
some people say that it's like going back to the vinyl times or the analogic recordings. It sounds more bass, more clear. The symbols.
Great. Yeah, it sounds. I mean, you can put it up to like albums back in the '60s and '70s, because when they made great rock records back then. The Led Zeppelin's albums.
The ultimate sound.
Those old Led Zeppelin sounds. They sound incredible. I can compare it to that. I mean, it's just sounds a lot better and clearer, but it's a great rock record, and the way it was recorded, everything sounds the same.
Well, unfortunately, time is time.
Yeah.
Everybody's waiting for your fifth album. Will be Untouchables, the ultimate title, okay? And what will find your fans in your new work?
They're gonna find a dynamic. They're gonna find a deeper meaning, I think, in Jonathan's lyrics. I think he did a really great job on his writing, his lyric writing, and his melodies. The record's really melodic, and it's very heavy. And I think they're gonna find a more of a musical KORN.
Back to the roots. Oh, we should never have gone a part of the roots, but keep the roots on.
No, we kept the roots. It's just evolved.
It's evolved. It's like a maturing tree. Keep the roots in the ground and they branch out and mature.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you
for your time.